Well, good morning. I'm trying to make some hummingbird nectar. I've already put 2 cups of sugar, just white granulated sugar, in my container, and I heated up 2 cups of boiling hot water, and I'm just pouring it in, and that's just to dissolve the sugar, and then I'm going to add more water. I didn't turn all my lights on this morning. I've been meaning to do this for a couple of days, but just haven't gotten around to it. But when you're making hummingbird nectar, all you need is pure white granulated sugar and water. Like I just did, I put 2 cups of sugar in there, so then I heated 2 cups of water, boiling hot, and poured it in the sugar and mix it up just till it dissolves that sugar. Because let's face it, if you try to dissolve granulated sugar in cold water, it doesn't work. And since you put 1 cup sugar to 4 parts water, I'm going to add 6 more cups of water. That'll make 8 cups of water to 2 cups of sugar. And that also cools it down because you don't want to put scalding hot nectar out there. Not be quite 8 cups of water, but it's close. My container's full, so I'm going to stop right there. And it's probably not going to take all this because I don't like to fill them up completely to the top. Because I like to be able to keep them clean. And yes, I put my sugar bag in a plastic bag and I put it in the refrigerator. It's like I said, the ants are atrocious out here. I mean, the ants are just unreal. So you don't want to leave sugar out anywhere. Take this outside and I'll be right back. It's almost like moving, trying to get everything together that you need to fill your hummingbird feeders up. Oh man. I'm going to rinse out the feeders as I take them down. But you can see I just rinsed it out. Now, about once a week or so, I'll take them all down, empty them, and I'll put them in a dishpan of soapy dishwater and scrub them that way. But I don't do that every single time. A couple of times that I empty them, I just rinse them out like this. And I'm not filling it all the way up, like I said. I fill it up about halfway. And then when I put it back together, by the time it drips down in there, it's about half full. I don't want it any fuller than that, and sometimes I don't even put that much in there because I want to clean it every 2 or 3 days. At least rinse it out and put fresh nectar in there, because in the heat it makes it go bad and the birds won't drink it. Another thing I do, I was about to forget that. I brought a cotton ball out here. There it is. It fell on the ground. I take peppermint, or if you can find it, just get mint. Mint is the best, but I never can find pure mint. It's already sold. So I buy peppermint, it works pretty good too. But if you'll take a cotton ball and soak it down good with that peppermint and just rub it around the feeder, what that's going to do, it keeps the bees away. Now the hummingbirds don't mind peppermint or mint. Doesn't bother them a bit, but the bees do not like it. I doubt you could see what I was doing over there. I was just rinsing it out with the garden hose. Don't fill it completely up because you're just going to waste nectar that way. I mean, if you want to keep it clean, well, that's dripping. I don't know why. Maybe I didn't have it tight enough. Rinse it off a little bit because I know that water dripped out. But like I said, just put plenty of that peppermint on your cotton ball. And just go around it. I mean, even if it's wet, you're going to get that peppermint on there. And like I said, the bees do not like peppermint. Don't like the way it was leaking underneath there. And it needs to be burnt a little bit. You can definitely tell the ones they drink out of the most are the little holes, because they have the most little black mold around them. And I have several different types of feeders. And if you see bees around it after you do this, it might mean that you just didn't get enough peppermint on there. So just come back a little later and put more peppermint. Like I said, the hummingbirds don't mind the peppermint or the mint. But the bees do not like it. And I'll have to fill up those ant moats too. And I've got these over here to do. can't very well show you everything here. But I'm going over here and I'll just, like I said, rinse them out. Now, probably the next time I refill them, I'll take them and scrub them out with soap. But this time it's good. It's just good enough to rinse them out. You'll find if you keep them halfway clean and scrub them out at least once a week maybe. Yeah, and I put the peppermint all around those little flowers on there too. You see what I mean by burping? You have bubbles that'll come up. Do that to let some of the nectar go in the bottom and the bubbles will come out. But yeah, just put your peppermint on a Q-tip, a cotton swab, or any little kind of thing you can put peppermint on there with. If they get a little bit of mold in them, you can kind of wet it and then rub it out with your fingers. And then the next time you do this, you can take them in the house and take a soapy water and a bottle brush or something and clean them good. like the glass ones as good as I do these plastic ones. But they are pretty. Well, it's not wanting to go on straight. Well, I'm going to sit here a minute till I can get this figured out, because no matter how I turn it, it don't want to go on straight. Finally. There, now we'll get this one down. This will be the last one that I'll have to fill up. Buy me some more peppermint or mint if I can find it. Now I'm completely out of it. I gotta go get a bottle of water. And all I'm going to do is fill my ant moats up. The little ant moats above the hummingbird feeders. They need water. So that'll keep the ants from coming into the feeders just by keeping the moats with water in them. If I can reach it. They're kind of dirty. I should have rinsed the little moats out. I was breaking broccoli leaves off. So, leave that out here a minute. Let those dry off and then I'll wipe them again. But I think it's supposed to be about 86 degrees today. I don't know which one of these feeders them birds will come to. It's usually always the one that I'm not sitting at. You'll have to bear with the AC running. That unit will cut off in a minute. Ooh. That was a job, but they're all clean. They're all cleaned, and I set that camera on the water hose, which I didn't want to do that. Then I'm going to put a little bit of water in this. Out my hummingbird feeder. Let me get something to clean that with. it has a tendency to get a little dirty. So I'm just going to scrub it out with this scrub pad. I need to clean this. The birds don't mind. But I like to keep it clean. Or try to. Well, if I'd have felt this good yesterday, I may have made it to my son's house. Today is not over with yet, though. Let's see. About time to put the new one out here, I guess. For those of you that did not see my video, this is a wash basin or a bowl. The old-timey ones that you see in the old-timey movies before running water, where they had the pitcher sitting in the middle. And the pitcher was basically for to hold water to pour in the basin so they could wash their hands or their face. This one had the pitcher that was with it, but I don't know what happened to it. But I brought this back after my aunt died. This is the one thing that I got. At her house that I really liked. So I brought it home and made a bird bath out of it, or bird fountain. Birds seem to like it. Throw the sponge away because was going to replace it. About that. I didn't mean to get out of camera view. It's about as straight as you're going to get it. But I got that other little bird bath sprayer or the fountain to go in it. And it doesn't work until the sun is shining over here, so I have to wait for the sun. Sit down here, rest a minute. I know that don't seem like a lot to do, but after you've been basically down flat on your back almost for 2 weeks, that's quite a bit to accomplish in a day's time. So I don't want to push my luck. Boy, my zucchini, and it's almost telling me to come pick it. It's getting so big back there. I guess we can go check on stuff back there. I don't have to do anything, just get away from this AC running. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Right along with my roses. And look at there, they're starting to grow. Those ones, they're starting to grow now. It just took them a while. And see, that one come up in the rock garden right there next to the rose bush, but I left it because it's going up the trellis anyway. It'll go on up there. But look at this. I'm just before coming out here picking those two. One right there. And my Swiss chard is recovering from where I come back out here and harvested it. And look at this. I got melons fixing to go up this trellis. And I probably just ought to let it do it. I don't know if it'll get up that far with that plastic being on there. And I probably should just about time to take the plastic off of here anyway. Because my peppers and tomatoes here is getting up pretty good size. So they're not going to need that late afternoon shade much longer. I don't think. But see how hot it's getting already? That winter squash is, or or shark fin squashes, the leaves are already wilted. But they'll perk back up later today when things cool off. But everything's looking good. Well, my watermelon is starting to crawl across the yard. Everything's growing good out here. It's just starting to get hot. It's going to be 86 today, I think, or even warmer. So, yeah, I like to walk by once in a while and just make sure everything is going up the trellises the way they're supposed to. Well, it was going the right way. Why did I want to move it? And that one's got tons of blooms fixing to come on it, and it's got a little melon right there. Look at that. Look at my lettuce, my romaine lettuce. And these are those funny named cucumbers. Look how long that one is. Look at the length of this one. I can't tell what I'm showing you. But this one right here, look how long it is. It's 3 inches long already and real skinny. That's the kind of cucumber it is. Those are the ones that I couldn't pronounce the name of. So maybe we'll get some of those cucumbers off of there this year. And I'm just twisting that around so it'll keep growing up. But I think the pollinators can get to the blooms a lot easier this way too, to have them up on a trellis. Don't know what I'm going to do with this when it gets over here. Try to find another stake to put it on, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, it's going to tickle me to death if this thing puts out a bunch of cucumbers. But it had that name that you have to twist your mouth real fast to try to pronounce. Something I can't pronounce anyway. And then this one, I just don't know what I'm going to do with it. It's just growing everywhere. I need more of a trellis up here, but I don't know what else to put up there. And these need to be watered. I may do that a little bit while I'm here, because I got a bucket of water here. And like I said, I cannot tell you what. But that'll wash that Epsom salts down in there too, because I haven't watered since I put the Epsom salts out here to this. there. And next time it rains, I'll be able to fill that bucket back up with compost tea that comes out of the overflow of these pots. Back this up a little bit. I gotta dig some potatoes, looks like. And I'm just going to leave this bucket open for right now. Trying not to get the leaves wet. Whew. All the excess dripped out of that. I'm going to go ahead and leave those buckets open so if it does rain, they'll get water in there. Oh man, it's hot. I'm gonna get back up here in the shade. It's getting too hot out here to be doing that. And I wouldn't have done that if I hadn't have been already out there. Whew. Oh man. I love gardening, but it is a job. When it gets hot like it is right now, you want to do stuff early in the morning or late in the evening just before dark. Because that's going to be your two coolest times, you know, in the evening when the sun goes down. Rubbing more peppermint on these feeders since they've dried. And throw this away. I've got it in the trash can right here because I've got to get the trash can out this evening. And you know what? I think I'm going to take you in the house because I can't talk to you out here with the thing running. So go in here where it's cool and sit down and talk a minute. Whew. It's hot. Yeah, I just got back from the drugstore. They called me and said my prescription was ready, so I ran out there and got it. Whew. Oh, and I'm sitting right over this vent where the cool air's blowing. I ain't no fool. Sit right here where that cool air is blowing right up my legs and in my face. That feels so good. Oh. Yeah, unfortunately, I think it's going to start getting really hot on us. This is just the beginning. But hopefully we'll get some more rain. I don't know. I haven't looked at the forecast today, so I don't know if they've changed it in the last day or so. Most of the time they do. Well, Got sweat going down my back. It was so hot out there. Said it feels like 87. The high will be 86. Oh, get this. We've got a 40% chance of rain 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock this afternoon. So hopefully we will get some rain today. Good thing I left those buckets uncovered. Maybe they'll fill up with rainwater. Well, I know they're not going to fill up. That's a 5-gallon bucket, but at least they'll get some rainwater in them if it does rain. Yeah, that sure looks good. Bring the radar up and see what it looks like if it shows anything coming this way by 4 or 5. It's going to be 67 for a low tonight. That's pretty warm. It says severe thunderstorms. Let's bring it up on the radar. I'd rather do the radar. I want to see what's coming this way, if anything. I want the future radar. I want to see what's going to take place this afternoon. Whew. Well, it's not showing anything up to 2:30 anyway. You know, the radar's not showing anything past 2 o'clock. So, that's not helping. That doesn't help at all, except I know there's a 40% chance of rain. At least we know we got a good chance of rain around 4 or 5 o'clock, around dinner time tonight. So that'll be good. My big rock garden out front really needs some rain, because I don't get out there and water that as much as I do my pots and totes, because the area is too big. I mean, and when I do water it, it needs to be watered with the garden hose. So if it rains, that'll be perfect. I've been down so much this week and last week that I come in and walk by the table, lay stuff on the table, and it just stays there. Y'all ever done that? Just your kitchen table is your catch-all for everything that's going and coming. So I need to clean my table off and get a lot of these odds and ends put away. Because, you know, I'm not a lazy person. I'm not a dirty person. I'm not one of these people that just pile stuff here, there, and everywhere. I like to keep a clean, neat house. And I like to keep a neat, clean, tidy yard. But when you're down and you can't do stuff, things kind of get out of hand on you, and then you end up having to play a lot of catch up. But like I said, I think when it's time to mow my yard after my flowers drop seed out there, I'm just going to see if I can hire someone to mow. I don't know if my son would have time to come over and mow. He mowed for me one time before, but he had more free time than what he's got now. And I know even though they had yesterday off, they may have had to work Saturday to make up for being off yesterday. And then he had probably Sunday and Monday off for his holiday and birthday. So that's not a whole lot of time when you spend all your hours at work and a lot of your time traveling back and forth. On your day off, you just want to kick back and forget anything's out there, you know? And I don't blame him. That's the same way I was when I was working. I used to drive to Fort Worth every single day to work. That was an hour one way, every single day. Hour there, hour back. So by the time I got up, headed to Fort Worth, it was dark outside. When I left work to come home, it was dark when I got home in the wintertime. In the summertime, it was a little better because, you know, you have more daylight hours. But I spent all that time going and coming and then working. And on the weekends, I was just dead tired. I just didn't want to go nowhere, didn't want to do nothing. I just wanted to kick back, put my feet up, and forget there was a world outside of my house. And I'm sure there's a lot of other people the same way. But my son works long hours. He doesn't work just 8 hours a day. Usually it's 10, 12 hours a day, sometimes 6, 7 days a week. If he's not working on the weekends, he's on call. So it's good lemonade. Y'all ought to make you some lemonade. It's real good. I remembered years ago, I didn't go to the store and buy Cokes and Sundrops and Mountain Dews and all this soft drink to drink. I made lemonade at home, and that's what I drank. And if I didn't have the lemonade, I drank water. I drank very little milk since, you know, I'm somewhat allergic to it. So my intake was usually juice, lemonade, water. Occasionally on the weekends, if we went anywhere and got a burger or something, you know, I'd drink a Coke or whatever, but it wasn't something I did every day. So I decided I was going to get back into that routine of not buying Cokes and soft drinks all the time and get back to drinking lemonade and juice and water especially. People just do not usually drink enough water. And I know if any of you watch Helen White or Stephen Hodges or Danny and Tammy Hodges, you know they've had a death in the family. The funeral was today, so she had an early video that she did live this morning. It went on at 9 instead of 10, so she could go to the funeral. I think it was at 1 o'clock, so she could be there before 1. And my condolences go out to the whole family. It's bad when you lose a family member. And it's even sadder that a lot of times it takes a death in the family to get relatives together and actually visit with a relative that you haven't seen in years. I know that's the case in my family. A lot of times family reunions happen at someone's death, at a family member's death. And it's sad, but that's the truth of reality. When people are strung all over the country, you have a death in the family. If you can get home for that funeral, you're doing good. So, most of the family's going to be there that could possibly go. So you get a chance to not only go to pay your respects to your loved one, but you also get to see family members you probably haven't seen in a year or two. And it turns into a family reunion. And, it's sad that times have gotten to that. Used to, families lived close together, so it wasn't a big deal, to get together. You could do it anytime you wanted to, like every weekend if you wanted, because people were basically in the same town, or at least the same county, or if they were in a town close by, they were within an hour driving distance to where you were, so it wasn't that big a deal. But the way it is now, you don't have towns between you, you have states between you. Like me, I'm 1,200 miles one way from my hometown. So if I have a death in the family, it's a big deal for me to try to make arrangements to go home, when I need to be there. It's like a spur of the moment thing. You don't have time to plan. You don't have time to do anything. And my brother, he lives in Tucson, Arizona now. Since he retired, he worked for IBM up in New York City. He said he got so tired of the cold up there, so when he retired, him and a friend of his, they split bills. They rent an apartment in Tucson, Arizona, in a development where there's a lot of other people that are retired just like them. There's some married couples with kids. They have swimming pool and all this stuff, and they have get-togethers, around the pool in the summer, that type of thing. But it's a big deal for him, too, because he's even further away than I am. Him driving from Tucson, Arizona to where I live is basically like me trying to drive the whole state of Texas, which is a big state. So, and then he's got the 1,200 miles further on to get to our hometown. So he has to fly. There's no way you could drive it and get there in time. And it's a big deal. It's just a big deal to try to get anything done. And I've got other family members that live in other states. Like one of my younger brothers lives in Tennessee now with his wife. He did live in my hometown at the time my parents passed away. So he was close by up till then. And he had promised his wife, that as soon as they passed, or whenever they did pass, that they would move to Tennessee so she could help look after her dad, who is an elderly person, of course. And she's not in good health either. My brother isn't either, so. But he promised to do that. So they moved to Tennessee, Mountain City, Tennessee. And that's where they're at now. And my nieces, nephews, cousins, they're scattered. They're not right there in my hometown county even. They're in other states. They're a long ways away. It takes a while to drive to where they're at. And even fly if you're going to fly. So it makes it bad, when you have a death in the family. And a lot of times you can't get there when you need to be there. It's unfortunate, but That's the way, that's the way it works out. But anyway, let's get on a better topic. I don't know why I started talking about that. Oh, I know, because of the Hodges and Helen. Yeah, my thoughts go out to Helen and her family, the Hodges. My condolences to the whole family. My thoughts are with them. I know it's a trying time. It's an emotional, heartbreaking time when you have to spend a day to see relatives at a funeral. So, but you know what? It is about 1 o'clock or so. I've had a cup of coffee this morning, and I drank a little bit of lemonade because this wasn't even full and it's empty now. I think I'm going to end my video so I can go ahead and fix me some lunch because I'm getting hungry. And thank goodness I've already got some greens. I got squash, I've got baked beans, and I've got potato salad cooked already. So all I've got to do is heat some of it up, get me some potato salad out, fill my container with lemonade, and I've got lunch. So thanks so much for hanging out with me. I hope you've learned something about hummingbird feeders. You don't have to keep them completely spotless. Like I said, if you take them down maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks and give them a good scrubbing with soap and clean them real good with a bottle brush or something and put them back up, take them down in between times and just rinse them out with, water. And that should be good enough. I mean, now if it's extremely hot there and you got an extreme amount of birds that come to your feeders, you may need to clean it a little bit more. Maybe at least once a week. And then in between time, just spray them out when you refill them. And you saw that I don't fill mine all the way to the top. I only put about half full because I want to be able to clean it out every 2 or 3 days. And I don't want to pour a lot of the nectar out and waste it. So that's my reasoning behind that. I don't have enough birds that they're going to completely empty those feeders in 2 or 3 days. So I don't fill them up. That way I can keep them cleaner and not waste a lot of sugar water. And remember, the recipe is 1 part sugar, white granulated sugar, to 4 parts water. Some people would put 1 part sugar, 3 parts water. That's up to you. You don't have to do that. The hummingbirds like it just as well with the 1-to-4 ratio. But if you will heat your water, or at least part of the water, to boiling, like I do, I just put mine in the microwave, and then I put my sugar in it, dissolve the sugar, pour it in your container, and then fill it back up with the rest of the way with the cooler water to get your 4 point, this is another tongue twister. Get your other 4 parts water to your 1 part sugar. That'll help cool the water down so it doesn't burn the hummingbirds' mouths when they go to drink it, because you don't want to put it out there scalding hot. So that's my tip for today on hummingbirds and their feeders. I hope I answered any of your questions about that. If not, leave your questions in the comments and I will surely answer any question that I see. I want to thank each and every one of you for hanging out with me, for taking the time to watch this video. Please like, share, and subscribe to my videos. Y'all have a blessed day. Peace be with you, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye now.